Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. Today we have another reading, and this reading is for Kelly. And it's kind of a multi-part question. There's several parts to this. So what I'm going to do for this particular reading is I'm going to break it up into a series of different readings because some of the questions are a little bit more on point with other aspects of this reading, and other questions are kind of in alignment with other things. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of just like look at the overall reading at the end, like of all the multi-part readings, and then just try to get a general assessment, maybe paint a little bit clearer pathway or picture for Kelly. Okay. So Kelly basically says, she's gotten a reading before, and she wants to know about a particular guy, and if this guy is her soulmate, and whether, and if it's not with this guy, if maybe we can shed some light on who it might be with, kind of along those lines. So this is going to be the first reading that we're going to do. And so what we'll do is shuffle the cards a little bit more. I've been shuffling these, but now that we kind of have an idea of where we're going with the reading, the cards have a magic way of doing their thing. It's kind of like fate in a lot of ways, I mean, sometimes you see these things on television, or you've seen probably things before where, somebody makes a decision based on a heads or tail, 50-50 chance that the coin lands on head, or 50-50 chance that the coin lands on tails. And, you get a 50-50 chance, right? Well, with the tarot, we have 78 cards here. And we have several different types of cards that cover a range of different topics. Together, there's so many different combinations, endless combinations of these cards. And yet the right combination seems to come up when I do a tarot reading for someone. So it's not really a 50-50 chance, it's just more of an accurate reading, because it's very identifiably specific to the individual. Now we'll just cut the cards. Okay, and just like many of the other readings that we've done before, guys, what we're going to focus on today is the past, present, and future. I like to start with the past, present, and future because I don't know, something about it calibrates me to what's going on. I start getting mental images in my mind from looking at the past, moving into the present, then moving into the future. And I can just kind of get more of a specific timeline of events of when things can happen. Now with this, we're looking at really if this guy is the soulmate, or if maybe someone else is, and just kind of what's up with it. So the first card that we pull, this is the past. This is the Queen of Wands. I'll just show you kind of if you can see it. It's Queen of Wands. This is about the past, and now the past. Queens are about influence. Okay. So in the past, we see a character. In this particular reading, it's Kelly. And we see a person of influence. It's about how we interact with ourselves and how we interact with others. And the Queen is very influential because she doesn't have to go real authoritative to get her point across. She can be very subtle and very indirect. And that can speak more volumes than any direct action ever can. In this particular card, she holds a sunflower. Sun's a really positive, vibrant flower. It's about happiness. And so with the Queen, happy outcomes usually come about. And in the past, that's sort of what we've found this reading. Now, the present moment, we have the Four of Swords. I'll show you guys that. So you see someone lying down and you see the swords. It's a Four of Swords card, and it's about supplication, prayer, retreat. Oftentimes when I show people this card, they think it means death or something along those lines, and it doesn't. It just is, it's about, sometimes we have to retreat. I always think of rest and renewal. You know, sometimes when you're working so hard and you're just going at things so diligently and enough time goes by and you're just really wearing yourself thin, it's good to take a break, you know, a little rest and retreat or rest and renewal. Maybe you want to go off to some retreat somewhere. It could be a yoga retreat, or it could be a meditation retreat. It could just be simply, you know, going someplace that you haven't been before, getting out into nature, releasing. Maybe it's about prayer, or just, you know, finding a quiet place to kind of find yourself. And that's where we're at right now. So it really does bring up a lot of thoughts, and that's that's a current moment that Kelly is in. This is about recharging batteries. So right now Kelly is trying to get these questions answered. You know, we'll find out here in a little bit, but you know, she's had some health issues and different things. But right now, this is about, you know, this is a time for just solace. You know, it's just a time for, you know, just some meditation and just some, you know, just getting some deep breaths going, just calming yourself down. You get to a calm place, oftentimes, you know, a place where you just kind of release, you know, let go of everything that's going on around you, just kind of get that release going on. When that starts to happen, then it starts to strengthen you internally. You can say spiritually, if you don't go that route of spirituality, you know, it could just be like, it relaxes you. You know, it makes you stronger mentally. It's another way of looking at it. Swords are about the mental. Okay, so the Four of Swords, we're talking about, you know, being in our head, trying to find some resolve there, trying to get some answers. And of course, we're doing the tarot reading for Kelly. So yeah, this makes perfect sense. Now, let's look at the future here for a moment. So the future, which is about 3 months out or so, we'll talk more about that here in a second, but we have the Queen of Pentacles. Just let you kind of look at that for a moment, see what you feel. Queen of Pentacles. So we talked a minute ago about the Queen of Wands. That was in the past. In the future, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is about, well, let's just break it down. Queens are about influence. Pentacles are about money. Money's also about groundedness, you know, finding a security blanket or finding a sense of, you know, consistency, like a sense of safety, a sense of surety, a sense of stability. So this is really an earth sign when we start to talk about the financials and that. It's really sort of like your, it could be like your Capricorn, for example. Capricorn of all the earth signs is actually the most, earthbound, I would say. I would say it's more of the stable-footed goat. You know, it can be on a cliff or a mountain or whatever and still find some security, some stability there. But with this, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, it's about material influence, really. It's about, it could be that you're working out of the home, or, you know, show some affection by gifting other people with material gifts, that kind of thing. But The queen, this particular queen, influences other people based on her giving. People recognize that, and people are attracted to people that give. Takers, on the other hand, people are a little bit less attracted to that. Why? Because people like to get more often than they like to give. So we could say it's just, human nature, but really it's not. Really what it is material nature. It's just material nature getting the better of us. Now, let's just look at this for a moment. Like, just in the past, it was about really influencing people rather indirectly, influencing them with swift ideas, swift action. That's what the wands represent. Creativity, creative ideas, like, being able to influence people with your ideas, that kind of thing. Then we've shifted gears into this kind of this rethinking process, a time for introspection, time to really kind of figure out what the next step is going to be, what the next chapter of our life will be, what will unfold. And then in the future here, relatively about 3 months out or so, we see another shift. And that shift goes back into this idea of this influence, rather indirect influence. But this time it has more to do with just being grounded, showing a message of like stability. And people are very much attracted to that. So you'll attract some people into your life. Now, let's look at what the answer to this question is. And let's just go back for just a moment and revisit the actual question, what we're actually exploring here. And what we're looking at is Kelly. She's been with someone for a while and wants to know if this person is her soulmate. If not, what do the cards have to say in terms of her future and stuff, in terms of like maybe someone else, that kind of thing. Right now, the cards have really just kind of shown us kind of a map or a trajectory of where things have been and where they seem to be going. Not a lot of change so far that we see in the cards necessarily. It's still this overarching influence that we have, through our creativity, also through like eventually more of a place of stability. So it's about taking the ideas from the creative that we've had in the past and manifesting those into more of a material or more of a stable footing, getting to that place. But so far we haven't really talked so much about relationships. Let's look at the answer card and then we'll move on a little bit. So the answer card is, well, it's the Six of Pentacles. Let you kind of see that. Just notice someone there. He's got the scales about balancing out, and you've got some people that this figure is feeding. And this person seems to have some abundance. And that's what the answer is. It's about giving. It's about giving to people that need, and doing it with a happy heart. We'll talk more about the answer card in a moment. Right now, what I want to do is I want to go back, because right now we were talking about a little bit ago this place of rest and retreat. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, what's really the energy surrounding this rest and retreat, and see if we get, okay. All right, so we have the Three of Cups. Okay, you see the Three of Cups? Now we're getting into the relationships. See, it's mental about the relationships. Okay, but when it comes to the answer, which comes a little bit later on, we'll get there. We have the Three of Pentacles, which is about that giving of our abundance. We have this theme of giving and abundance here. We have creative ideas that turn into money. And then once you get to a place of abundance, you give back, help others. And you do it happily. And then, of course, they happily receive because that's what they need. Three of Cups here is the energy right now surrounding that Four of Swords. And the Three of Cups is about celebration, accomplishments. It's a general sense of abundance and happiness going on with this particular card. So also about like the ending, or really the conclusion of, you know, problems. Any problems from the past become resolved. So, and really whatever you choose is going to be the right choice. And for that, it's celebration time. And that's basically what this card is elaborating on. So that's a really positive card as far as the relational side of things go. Let's look at where your energy is, like Kelly. Let's look at where you're at as far as these Four of Swords, this rest and retreat period and stuff. Let's look and see what we're at with that. So we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. You see the camp in the background, and you see what looks like a thief possibly taking off the swords, you know, retreating, leaving. Sometimes people refer to this card as kind of the thief in the night. Really what this card is about, like in terms of our own psychology and that, it's about doing something kind of in secret, or sometimes people look at it as deception or betrayal, something along those lines, maybe broken vows, but really thinking that we're safe and really undiscovered, that people are not going to find out our secret, or kind of the things that are going on behind the scenes, you know, kind of like a magician, you know, he knows what's really going on behind the scenes, but the audience doesn't. And that's what this card is really saying. It's like, you know, I've got these secrets, you know, it's really not magic, but people think it's magic. So I'm going to continue to let them believe that way. And, you know, I'm just going to kind of retreat off before they try to find out my secret. And that it's sort of like that. But this card though is all about going it alone. So whenever you see this Seven of Swords, instead of thinking thief in the night, or the magician's secrets, so to speak, instead of seeing it like that, which you're more than welcome to see it that way, just think about going it alone. You know, this is a person that, you know, they've got a lot going on in their mind, a lot of things that need to be worked out, and only they can work it out for themselves. And that's really what it's about. So they're just kind of taking a little break. And that makes really perfect sense, Kelly, because that's the card you got. You know, that's that Four of Swords there. And that's a supplication card. It's a prayer card, or some people call it like I like to call it as a rest and renewal card. We're just kind of retreating, giving ourselves a break. It's time to realign ourselves with our values, our goals, kind of what we want, figure things out, find your true nature, your true self, really figure out what's important to you and where you want things to go in the next chapter of your life. Let's look at the outcome of this reading. So the outcome card is the Five of Swords. Fives in numerology are all about change. See this person, he's victorious. He's the victor. There's people in the backdrop, you know, they've basically just given up. They're going in the opposite direction. And this person has got a little bit of a smug look on their face. Yeah, I got you guys. I beat you guys. So he's kind of like thinking in that direction. But the reality is that sometimes we can lose even if we win. Sometimes winning is losing, if you catch my drift. Let me explain that for just a moment. So the Five of Swords basically is winning at any cost. If your focus is solely on winning your goals at any cost, eventually you're going to discover, to your own dismay, that the price of winning may not be worth the reward. This card is about conquest. It's about, winning. But at the end of the day, it's about like kind of having a little bit of regret about winning, like having the fight in the first place. There's losses on both sides, when we play this game of winning at any cost. So I hope some of this is making sense, or maybe you're intuiting things already a little bit, Kelly. putting it out there for you as far as like summarizing this or putting it into a nice place for you. The decision right now is undecided. Right now, it's time for you to just really hone in and think about what it is you really want. What are your values? Does your core identity align with this other person? Is this person really someone that you want or foresee in your life long term? Because it's mental, it's good to be objective about things, but at the same time, it's also good to have, some kind of an understanding of your own your feelings. And that's what this time is really all about for you. So really, it's about going it alone at this point in time. Now, the answer to winning and to basically get what you want or to follow your heart, which is what this card is what this reading is really saying, is to kind of get out of your head a little bit. But at the same time, it's about charity and giving to others. It's about serving other people. And really, when you look at this Three of Cups, this is the relationship card in the deck. You see three people here. They're bound with joy. They're celebrating. They're having a good time. It's about jubilation. That's really the energy around right now, this time of just kind of retreating and stuff. It's about just enjoying life, not taking things too seriously. I know it's hard sometimes with those swords to not take things so seriously, to get out of the head a little bit. But, it's a really good time in your life. It's a really good place of celebrating and taking time for that. And really the answer, or really what the message that you're supposed to hear, is that with your blessings, now blessings can be financial. They can be sharing your gifts with others. It could be like sharing, if you're a crafts person, sharing your craft with other people. Your abundance, if you have a lot of abundance in one particular area or a lot of knowledge in one particular area, it's about getting out there and sharing it with people that need what you have and doing it selflessly. When you do things this way, sometimes you'll find that abundance tends to naturally come your way. And as more abundance comes your way, it's important not to forget people, and it's important to also continue to give, the excesses is what I like to look at it as. And what happens during the course of giving is that people become very attracted to you. This is natural. This is psychology. What's the secret to relationships? Well, I was watching a video yesterday, and in that video, it was people were documenting people that had lived to be well past 100 years of age. And so people were asking these people, like, well, what's your secret to longevity? What was the secret for you to have such a long life? And, there were a lot of different really amazing answers. One of the answers, the guy says, and I'm paraphrasing here a little bit. I don't remember 100% what he was saying, but I should. But he said, happiness, not basically letting go of like problems, mental problems and things that get in your head, just kind of letting it go because it's frivolous, it doesn't really matter. And just happiness, finding happy, being joyful, having happiness like in your life, different things. But then, and this is what kind of triggered me just a moment ago to kind of go off on this tangent. There was I want to say it was like a niece, and she was asking maybe her great-great-grandmother or something. I don't know exactly who it was, but some relative, younger relative, she was asking her, maybe great-great-great-grandmother or something like that. Great-great-great-grandmother, what is really the secret to how this life of being able to live a long time like this? And the grandmother said, well, dear, it's a secret. So, and I kind of like, yeah, I was like, okay, I get it. It's kind of funny. And, it's almost like saying, well, I don't know. I don't, maybe she does know. We're not going to find out is basically what she's kind of getting at. Um, does anyone really ever have the answer? Well, I think we do. Now, it's very interesting, like for this particular reading, because two things are happening. Two pieces of advice here. One, be a giver, not a hoarder, not a, taker, but really a giver, let go of the material crap going on in life. There's always something that just plagues us. Oh, we need this or we need that. We got to go spend money on this. We got to go spend money on that. Just really think about other people, and when you do that, something really powerful happens. People you become a magnet to people. I'll tell you what I mean. I was in India, and I just wanted to do this for two reasons. One, kind of as an experiment, and then two, because I was just in a really giving mood. I just wanted to do something really nice. I was in an area where there's a bunch of these really poor, impoverished children, and a little girl came up to me, and she was begging. She had her hand out and stuff for some money and stuff. And us monks, we sort of take this vow of poverty, but had a little bit of money on me, so of course we give it away. So give the little girl a little bit of money, and in that moment, it's like I became the most attractive person in the entire area, because I had probably 50, 60 of these kids, adults, everyone coming up to me, like really trying to like get money from me because they saw that I was a giver. That's the kind of point I'm trying to make here with this. It's just, that's the nature of things. If you see someone and they're throwing like $100 out the window, you're going to see some people stop and start to take those things, So anyways, we got a couple of people here on the live chat, which is really cool. Space Star. Oh, do I do free readings? Well, we kind of take a vow of poverty, so we will do anything to try to help anyone. So I hope that kind of answers the question. But no, we do have a website. It's like if you'd like a reading and stuff, where you can actually submit your information. That we really don't go out advertising this kind of thing at all, but it's my mind just went blank. Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick. You can tell I don't visit it too often. Let me check. I believe it's helpbydonating.com. Helpbydonating.com. And it's just, if you want to give a donation or something like that, we have like a dollar donation thing here. You're more than welcome to donate $1 or something like that. We'll do a free reading for you and stuff. It's not a big deal. And that's pretty much it. A lot of times I talk basically me. I'm the one that really does the readings. So I hope that kind of answers the question there. But like we're monks, so like, we don't really, whatever is donated and all, it's not just my money, it's our money kind of thing. So you're more than welcome to donate if you want. Otherwise, you don't have to. If you just want a reading stuff, you can just reach out to me directly. Yep, just like Krishna monks and stuff. I don't know. This is like some Sanskrit here. Oh yeah, I like the emoticons that you have. I think I'm saying that right. Kind of an old guy here. Stars with the eyes. That's really cool. But yeah, my email address, I can put it in the description below of the video. If you want to check it out there, or if you can just remember, it's like Nityananda Prabhu Haribol. Yeah, wow, cool. Someone knows Nityananda. Sweet. That's really cool. Yeah, my email is just Chandra. It's my first name. It's CHANDRA. And then just the numbers 108 gmail.com. Yeah, Nityananda Prabhu. Yep. Way cool. Cool. Well, I'll try to put the email in the description below anyway and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just, this is, I try to give back. I don't know if you know my story or not, like, guys, and I don't want to get off too much of a tangent because I'm really trying to do a tarot reading here for Kelly. But just when I was a small child, I don't even remember exactly how old, probably around 9 years old or something like that. I had a really psychic experience happen to me. And since then, those powers, or whatever you want to call it, or abilities or intuitiveness, have grown and grown and grown. And that was, like I said, I'm in my 40s now. And so that was, first quarter of my life anyway. So it was kind of a tragedy, actually, because I got really a heavy sense of energy that these 3 ladies and this one brother were going to pass away in an automobile accident. And, it's just really like heavy on me. Like, I couldn't stay awake. It was so heavy. And I just went to sleep, and I had this dream of seeing the actual thing happen. And it really affected me as a child, like emotionally. Like, I was confused. I really didn't know what was going on. My mother tried to console me and say, oh, it's just a nightmare. It's just a bad dream, But I just had such a horrible feeling. And it was triggered by the honking of a horn on this car when we were visiting those 3 ladies and that one brother in childhood. It just hit me. I went home and I just passed out, took a nap middle of the day. And when that happened, so a couple of weeks later and stuff, it happened, like the people burned up in the car, and, it was very unfortunate and very traumatic. And I'd already told, like, my mother had told my father, and, my brother knew about it and everything. And so it's sort of verifiable. And then when it happened, they were just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, boy. So then they tried to kind of like console me in different things. And back in those days, I don't know, like, if they even do this kind of thing anymore, but they used to have schools for like ESP, extrasensory perception. So I went to do that and stuff, and they could track, like, somebody says, okay, well, we did these tests and different things. Well, they would have you these cards, maybe 10 of these cards, and they would mark one of the cards. You couldn't see what was marked, and they say, okay, well, pick which one you just feel is the right card. And I'd always pick it, So it was sort of like one of those kind of things. And then it just continued to grow and whatnot. So anyways, being a monk and stuff, it's, I feel it kind of my duty to kind of help people in the best way that I can. And so, I do tarot card readings. So yeah, that's my story. Okay. So I got to get back to the reading here, but getting back to the reading. So Kelly, with this particular thing, it really is about giving. And when we give, giving is also about serving. And when you serve other people and stuff like that, you become very magnetic, and people are attracted to you. And with that attraction, people can pick up on, your personality, your true intent, what your intentions are, how happy you are, how sad you are. They pick up on your emotions, and you become very hypnotic. I mean, you, like I say, very attracted. Like, people just kind of have that tunnel vision toward you. And so this guy, that could be a possibility for you, but it could also be, depending on which way you want to take it. And really, that's why I say the decision's really up to you. That's why it's really important right now during this period of introspection for you to really kind of zero in on what it is that you actually want. And whatever it is that you want, that's what you're really ultimately going to bring in. It's not about law of attraction or woo-woo or anything like that. It's just really about just the natural, tendency to be attracted to something. Why are we attracted to things? What's the psychology behind that? And so that's really the reading in a nutshell. If you want to be with someone else, or you have a different vision in your mind of what your soulmate or the person that you would like to, eventually wind up with, is what that person represents, and it is in contrast to the person that you're currently with, then that might be something that you would want to kind of more focus on. If I was going to give you some advice. If, on the other hand, you just feel like such a real strong attraction to the person you're with that you really can't think of being with anyone else, well, what I would say then is if you want this relationship to last, or if you want this relationship to carry forth and to be there long term, really the key, and probably the key for anyone watching this that's interested in solidifying a relationship or making sure that relationship doesn't go anywhere, it's really about service and serving the other person and doing it from the heart. Okay? There's a difference between serving people mechanically or with ulterior motives, or to get what we want from that person. And then there's a difference in literally serving someone completely from the heart and doing it in such a nice way that, we really love this person. And, whether this person ever does anything for you at all, whether they serve you in any way, shape, or form, it's really about what you bring to the table for them. Like, just loving that person enough that you're just willing to do whatever, to do nice things for that person, to, just kind of dedicate yourself to that person. When you do that, you become very attractive. And if you're the most attractive thing in the room, you can bet all eyes are going to be on you. But if there's only two of you, going back to this analogy before of the coin, the 50-50 chance, if you've got heads and tails, and let's just say, for example, that heads is, the shiniest side of the quarter and tails is the dull side, well, which side is someone going to be attracted to, the head or the tail? Probably a silly little way of looking at it, but it's just, you have a choice. If someone is debating being with you and debating being with someone else, and this applies to all of us, the person that serves you the most, the person that truly goes out of their way to help you in the best possible way, that just, serves you and loves you, and they serve you so well that this other person in the room can't even compete. They have no opportune chance for that. Well, the one that serves you the most is the person that you'll wind up with, more often than not. And that's what service is all about. It's about giving. So that's what this reading is all about. And I hope this helps you out a little bit. Now, for the sake of this live stream, I'm going to end this stream because we have several readings to do tonight. A couple of these readings are for Kelly. Kelly, this is the first part of this reading, and I just wanted to really hit home on this because I know this was one part of this reading that was really important to you. But now we're going to shift gears. We're going to come back online here in a few moments. And when we do, we're going to look at the other parts of your question. Okay. So when I get this information over to you, I will give you the links to all of the videos so that you can, kind of check it out and see what the answers are and everything. And we'll look at things more holistically here in a little bit. But okay, guys, I'm going to be tuning out here in just a moment. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure that you do. We do these live streams quite frequently, sometimes several times a week, sometimes just once or twice a week. It really just depends on how many people want readings and that type of thing. So if people are, wanting readings and that, then I'll gladly do them. No worries. Sometimes we have a slower week than other weeks. But anyways, enough about that. We'll go ahead and end now. If you want, you can hit the bell icon also once you subscribe, and then you'll get notifications every time we come online. Oftentimes it's around the same time at night that I'm able to do these. Sometimes in the mornings I do hit them up. So if you're more of a morning person, you may want to tune in and catch some of those episodes as well. And then finally, if you like the video, please be kind, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you have any advice or anything that you'd like to give Kelly based on the cards or based on some divination or, whatever you're into, please feel welcome to do that in the comments below. I'm sure that she would appreciate that. So guys, thank you so much. And I will see you guys here in a few moments on the next live stream. Thanks.